Cues with Eileen. And we're back with another episode. Welcome back to the Life and Curly Cues podcast with me, Eileen. This is episode... What episode are we on? This is episode 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've come far. And that voice that you're hearing that you just heard is a returning guest who is here for the second episode. So it's been a while, a long time. That episode aired, I think, in like March.
Yeah.
And so I'm back with my mama, Janet.
Hey, everybody.
And I'm happy to have her back for this special episode. We already heard her adulting story. So this episode, we are actually going to have a little update chat with her. In all the past episodes this past few months, I've been talking about a project that I've been working on. And that project was working with my mother. And so I mentioned a lot, but today I wanted to still can't English. I wanted to chat with my mother about this project because this project has been 6 months happening and it just ended. And so I wanted to kind of interview her a little bit, so to say, officially be the first person to interview her about the project as it ended because she's about to get bombarded with questions by other people. So I get to beat everyone to it.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't think about that. Well, thank you for inviting me. And it's true because tomorrow we'll start with everybody asking about it. Yeah.
Exactly. So for anyone who didn't listen to the second episode, definitely go back and listen to the second episode if you haven't already done so. And if you have and you want to listen to it again, go for it. You'll hear a little bit about my mom's story. But Mom, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the project itself that you've been working on. Not anything that's happening right now at instant, but kind of just reiterate what was this project that you worked on.
So, yes, everybody, if you remember last episode, in case you didn't listen to the last episode, I have a nonprofit organization that helps military families with language barriers and veterans, especially Hispanic families. And we receive a grant from Facebook, my gorgeous people from Facebook that love us very much.
Her BFFs.
Gave us a grant, and 6,000 people applied for this grant, and they only chose 150. And from 65 different countries around the world, and my organization was one of them that got picked.
Which is pretty awesome.
I know, very, very awesome, and I still can't believe it. So the past 6 months, my project and my proposal for this grant was to provide a summit around the country. We wanted to do 6 summits to bring together military spouses with language barriers, because we have never done it before, and it hasn't been done before for Hispanic families anywhere. So we're the pioneers again with these events. But we wanted to emphasize in English classes for military spouses, but also citizenship classes to those military families and spouses that have immigration issues. So our proposal was actually 2 projects: English classes for military families and citizenship classes. And both of that, we wanted to do it for free for them. So it was a lot of work.
I can attest to that.
Yes, it was a lot of work. I didn't know it was going to be that much work. But it was very uplifting every time we finished a summit. We were very tired, but I would go to bed and just reminisce like everything that happened, and I could see the faces of everybody, and I could just remember like, oh my God, I didn't know that existed, or I could see their smiles,
Yeah.
their questions, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
our speakers. We had military spouses that came from different parts of the United States, and they opened up their heart and told
Mm-hmm.
and share experiences in the military life that
Yeah.
they haven't shared with anybody. So that for me was one of the bigger moments because we gave the spouses a voice,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they felt secure and safe around us to speak up and
Mm-hmm.
tell
It
us
was
their stories.
you kind of created a safe space in a way.
Yes, and I think that's what we are. We're a safe space,
Mm-hmm.
because we make sure that first of all they know that we're a family,
Mm-hmm.
and two that everything that we share together stay with us. You know,
Exactly.
there is a commitment of confidentiality, and that's very important, very important. So we did a lot. We did a lot in this project, and we have about right now we have about 700 military spouses taking free English
That's
classes.
awesome.
We have about 100 military spouses taking citizenship classes for free. Um, we have some that already finished the regular classes. So what we did was whoever finished those first English classes that were just basic English and grammar English,
Mm-hmm.
we bought advanced courses online with the grant. So we will be giving
L-
those spouses that finished that
letting them
basic one,
continue their
yes, we're
education.
giving them an advanced class online so they can, for free, so they
Mm-hmm.
can continue
Yeah.
continue to grow in this. It's very important. I mean, English is important in military life, so
Yeah.
we need to know the
Military life and
language.
everyday life. It's
Yeah,
kind of like a universal language,
correct.
so to
And
speak.
and to progress in this life, you need to know English. I mean,
Yeah.
it's necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, love to talk Spanish, but it's necessary. It's
Yeah.
mandatory. It's, I mean, we need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions for
Sure.
you that I typed up to be my professional interview self.
Go ahead.
But first, I wanted to mention I just thought of this as you were sharing kind of an update as to what the project was, but how fitting that we're talking about this summit that you hosted for Hispanic military spouses during the month of Hispanic
I
Heritage Month, which
know.
is like such a cool way to show off our culture and our
Well, we just
heritage.
finished. Yeah.
Yeah, because we finished right as
Yeah. It
Hispanic
started. Yeah.
Heritage Month was starting.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool to kind of see
Yeah.
like the we spent 6 months doing all of this leading up to Hispanic Heritage
Yeah.
Month, where now you get to talk about the
About it.
impact of it
That is so
itself
true.
on those
And
spouses.
and my goal is to find sponsorship and do six more.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal is to continue to do this and to reach in every single city that has a
Yeah.
military base. So six per year is my goal. We just need some sponsorship.
So if you're listening,
If you're listening and you got money and you want to support military families,
please visit esposasmilitaresusa.org.
.org. Join us.
Okay, so we already answered my first question, which is what have you been working on, that type of thing. But what was a moment in this, I call it a tour because you did essentially
It's a
tour.
tour.
In this tour, was there a moment that really stuck out to you? Like one moment. I know you have to pick from a lot, but is there one moment that kind of overrides all the other little moments that really stuck out?
One moment. Let me think about this because I think every single moment was very special to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was literally in every single city, in every single summit. I was speaking in the front. I was trying to capture every face and every moment.
Yeah.
Um, oh my God. Let's see. One moment.
Mm-hmm. If you can't think of one specifically, then I'll accept any moment.
Oh, man, it's just hard. But I'll say, I think there's two moments
Mhm.
that had a lot of meaning to me. And, well, three. Um, no, four. No, I'm kidding.
5, 10,
Two,
20.
two. Um, no, I think first is our first um, summit at For Bliss.
Mhm.
We had a guest speaker that flew from Florida,
Mhm.
and it was the first time she was sharing her story about how she and her husband and her family were homeless after retiring from the military, and they lost their house and they lost their car, and that whole experience for them, it made me frustrated in part because as an organization or as a leader, I didn't know that was going on.
Mhm.
And I felt that I didn't support them the way they needed, but we didn't know about it.
Exactly.
But it made me think that we need to be more open to these situations, and
Mhm.
we need to ask, because if we don't ask, we never know.
It's going to go
It's gonna
unnoticed.
go unnoticed. But I'm so happy and humble that she shared her story with everybody. That was very captivating for me. That was very emotional too. I
Mhm.
got back to the room and I was crying my butt up. Um, the other one was actually the other speaker that we had at North Carolina.
Mhm.
She came from, no, she's from Carolina, yeah. Uh, and she shared with us how they knocked on her door and told her that her husband was injured and she didn't know English and she thought her husband was dead
Mhm.
because she didn't know English.
Yeah.
And that is just, I still get chills
Mhm.
just to think, as a military spouse for 24 years, when you see people in uniform knocking at your door, you just,
Everyone knows
you
that's
just
yeah.
think they're dead.
Mhm.
And I can just imagine what this woman was going through, thinking that her husband was dead because she didn't know English.
Mhm.
She didn't know what they were saying to her.
Yeah.
That is my mission. I need to make sure that all my military spouses
Understand.
understand
Mhm.
English and talk English and get involved in the military community and they're accounted for. It's so important that they are accounted for. That was a wow moment for me. And of course, the last one, when we were in North Carolina, also, we had two spouses, military members, that sit down and share,
Mm.
um,
Yes.
and share
Their
their
views,
view
their side of
as
the
a military
story.
member. Yeah,
Mhm.
how we don't see them, right?
Mhm.
Because we are so caught up with being a military spouse that we forget their side of a view
Mhm.
and how they're caught up within the
Yeah.
military life themselves.
Exactly. There's two sides to every story, and
Yeah.
that moment was
Yeah.
it allowed not only you but those
Yeah.
spouses to, and
To
it was even a spouse's
yeah.
idea for that
Yeah.
to come up, which I thought was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So it was nice that they had an interaction with other spouses and they were asking questions
Mhm.
and answering questions, and um, I think that was a great moment too because they needed to see their side of
Exactly.
the view.
Yeah. So I want to go over a couple of stats. So this project, I don't know if we've ever mentioned the title. I don't remember in the second or
Operation Barrier
yes, we
Breaker.
stuck with the military theme and we called it Operation Barrier Breaker.
Because let's explain this because a lot of people we say Operation Barrier Breaker and people think the wrong thing.
Let's clear the air, why
Let's
don't we?
clear that up. Operation Barrier Breaker because we are breaking barriers of language within the military
Mhm.
community. That's what we're calling that.
Yes. We're not doing
Nothing else.
anything else. Whatever you're thinking, you're wrong.
It was wrong.
You're wrong. We're right. Okay. So again, yeah. So it's Operation Barrier Breaker, and just a couple stats. So part of my job during this tour was being kind of your videographer slash logistics slash event coordinator slash every job title that I could have.
Eileen and Claudia, it was the right, left, hand, feet, head of this whole event. But Eileen was the go girl. I couldn't do this without her. Like, we fought every summit. Every summit.
Because we're the same person.
Oh, my Lord. We fought every summit.
We have the same exact personality.
Every summit
so
we fought.
A lot.
But at the end was like, oh, God, we did it.
We survived it. But yeah, so I helped curate a lot of content for her to be able to post on social media. I put together videos for her. And in this last video, this recap video I just created, I put together some stats for her. And just to show how big and how many different elements were involved.
Yeah.
She went to 6 different
cities.
5
military communities.
Yes. 5 states, 6 military communities, 400 participants. Which, did you think you were gonna reach 400? No. Or before you thought of this, like, how many people did you think would be attending?
You know, first of all, I had my doubts, of course, because there's something that we have never done.
Yeah.
And the Hispanic community sometimes is
we're like, a little flaky sometimes.
Yeah, like, I don't know if I should go, you know?
Like, is it a scam or what's
where am I going? Are they going to charge me? Like,
is it really
free? Are they going to feed me? Like, what are they going to sell me?
Yeah.
You know, we think of
we're
all those
very
things.
Chismosa,
yes,
and we're
very
skeptical.
Chismosas and skeptical. So, at the beginning, I was hoping at least to have, my goal was to have at least 50 spouses in each summit. Just because if I have at least 50 spouses, those spouses are going to talk. And the word of mouth is going to go out.
Yeah.
And I have to specify, we have grown this much because of word of mouth. We started with 10 spouses.
Yeah.
We're like more than 10,000 all over the world. So that's how we work. So I knew if we had at least 50 on the first summit, those were going to talk to other people.
Yeah.
And then in the next one, we will have a bigger crowd. But it all depends of, you know, it's logistics. It's where are you going?
Yeah.
Who is available to go? I mean, I'm glad that we had the childcare because then those spouses, a lot of people came because we had those available. But yeah, I was expecting 50 people per summit, or so, just to see if that will work. I was happy to see more in many of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So 400 number, that's
exceeding.
That's very good to me.
Because if you were thinking 50 per, that'd be just 300 people. So you exceeded your overall. Yeah. But yeah, so 400 participants. You had about 30 volunteers total, which is crazy because you're a nonprofit. So all of the people involved in your nonprofit, they're all volunteers.
Nobody gets paid.
No one gets paid.
Nobody gets paid in Esposas Militares Hispanas. Not
so
even me. Nobody.
So you had 30 people who volunteered, which total in a span of 6 different summits.
And if you think, just add those hours because
it was a whole day.
10 hours.
Yeah.
Each day.
Yeah.
So 10 hours times 40 people times 6 cities. I mean, it was a lot of volunteer hours, and we could have done it without them.
No, we couldn't.
They were excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so 400
But Eileen was the lead, you know. Everybody will ask me, Janet, what did I do? Ask Eileen. Janet, what did I do? Ask Eileen.
So 30 volunteers, and then you had 18 guest speakers. Yeah. In a span of 6. And a couple were repeats, but still the story still impacted whichever community they were in.
It was amazing.
But yeah, you had 18 speakers, and I think that's also something that's that was very beneficial to the summit itself, because had you just created a summit and it was just you
Yeah.
talking and like one
No, I
motivational
didn't want to do
speaker,
that.
it wouldn't have been as impactful
No.
as having a
Yeah.
panel of people talk about
Yeah.
their
I
experiences.
wanted to have the voice of other military spouses
Mhm.
because we it doesn't matter who you have as a speaker. As a military spouse, you can probably reflect on whatever they're saying
Mhm.
because you probably went through that.
Yeah.
Or you haven't, and once you it goes through, you were like, "Oh my God."
They talked about
Like
it.
they
I know
talk
what they
about
were
it at
saying.
this summit.
Yeah.
So um, it was important for me to have other people talking
Mhm.
and giving their views and perspectives of military life, and they're good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. It was good. And then the final um statistic that I want to give is that you gave away in person. You're going to give away more, not in person, but in person, you gave away 4 checks.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that, I think that's what's crazy and astonishing, that you were able to give back. Not only
Mhm.
did you give back in words, but you gave back in monetary,
Yeah.
um, a resource
Yeah.
to 4 different spouses in person.
Yeah.
So kind of share a little bit about what this check was for.
Okay, so we had during the summits what we call the Citizenship Award, and we were giving away $750, which is the amount of money that it costs to do an application for citizenship. So I think three of those, only one spouse knew that we were going to give it to
Mhm.
them. The other three didn't know. We took them as a surprise, but I kept asking questions and different questions while email them, and they never found out it was for that. So, will the way that we give the money is it has to be a military spouse that have had already the citizenship ceremony, or
That was the next step in
that was the
their
next step in the
citizenship.
life that they already have a date
Mhm.
for the citizenship award. So um, um, of course we need proof, so we get receipts or whatever can prove that they are on the way to do a
Yeah.
citizenship or have done it. But um, I remember the first one. I called her on the phone and she needed some help, and she contacted me and I said, "Hey, by the way, we're gonna go to Fort Bliss, and what is your citizenship status? Like, what is your immigration status?" And she said, "Well, Janet, I just did it." She said, "But we are struggling with money because I had to use the money that I had to finish my process
Mhm.
because I have small children and I it's so important for me to do this, but it has cost us a lot of money and struggle." And I said, "Oh, so do you have like let's celebrate with you. Can you send me a copy of your certificate?" And she's like, "What do you need that for?" And she kept asking and asking. I said, "Okay." So we have this award, and she started to cry. She didn't let me finish, and she started to cry and cry and cry. And she said, "I just don't know, like, why God sent you." And I get teary eye. I'm sorry. She's like, "I don't know why God sent you, but you're here in the right moment." And she said, "We really need that money right
Mhm.
now." Um, because we used it and we couldn't,
Mhm.
and now we're
Yeah.
struggling, and now you're here. So I was like, "Yep." I hang up and I cry and I was like, "Yep, that's what we're here for."
Mhm.
And I think every single story of those checks that we gave, it was the same story. It was
Mhm.
the same, like, I am struggling, and I haven't done it because of this. People think that military families are rich.
Not true.
Not true. Two, people think that because you're a military spouse, you are automatically a citizen or
Mhm.
get privilege
Yeah.
on the process. Everybody does this process the same way as everybody else and pays the same amount as everybody else.
Mhm.
Um, And three, we have military members that are not citizen that are fighting for our country.
Mhm.
So, just to put that in perspective, because everybody thinks it's so easy and it's
Yeah.
not. So,
I mean, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So you got to give it to 4 people, and then
and we have what, six more?
you're giving away
Yeah,
6
we're
more.
waiting for paperwork, and
Yeah.
we're giving away six more.
That's pretty awesome. But yeah, those are just some of the statistics that I wanted to share, that I kind of discovered while I was making the video. But I think it's just amazing putting numbers to
Yeah.
what had actually happened, and just seeing it all come together is pretty
Yeah.
awesome. My
And we're
next
giving, I'm sorry to
no.
interrupt, but we're giving what, 54 advanced scholarships for
Oh.
English. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
54.
Yeah. And then you had people coming from, or I mean, you had people who were stationed in those bases that were nearby in those military communities, but you had spouses from all over.
Yeah, they drove just to come to the summit.
That would
Drove
drive.
3 hours, 6 hours
Yeah.
just to come to the
But
summit.
but also from like different countries.
Yes.
You had a
Oh,
couple from
wow.
Spain.
Ecuador,
You had
Honduras,
Peru,
Colombia,
Chile,
Peru, Chile,
Costa Rica.
Brazil.
Yeah, you had like pretty much
Yeah.
almost all of Central America
Yeah.
and a little bit of South
South
America.
America, yeah.
And then you had
Mexico,
Spain,
Spain,
which I
yeah.
thought was the like most wild one, because you always hear people from somewhere in Central America or in
Yeah.
South America, but then
Yeah.
you never really come across a lot of people that are
Yeah.
from over the water,
Right.
like across
Yeah.
the ocean. So that was pretty cool to see. My next question for you: how did it feel putting faces to voices you've heard in
Oh,
the past, or
wow.
to people you've had a conversation with either online or
Yeah.
over the phone? How did that feel, actually finally getting to see them and meet them face to
Yeah.
face?
We have been doing this for 11 years, and we have some members that have been with us for 10
Mhm.
years or so, and it was very uplifting to, I'm so bad with names, so
Mhm.
bad with names, but just to see their faces, and they will come and say, "Hey, Janet, I'm
So and
so and
so.
so,"
Yeah.
and I just hugged them and
Yeah.
hugged them tight. I was like, "Oh my God," because I know most of these people's lives,
Mhm.
their
You
struggles,
know a
their
lot more about them than their own family knows
yes,
about them in
yes,
some moments.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm their confidant, and I'm their person, the go person.
Mhm.
There is a lot. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of military
Yeah.
spouses that reach out to me,
Mhm.
and um, and you know how I am. And everybody criticized me for this, but I don't care. Everybody in my organization has my phone number.
I know, it's crazy.
And they know, and I think that's the difference
Mhm.
between any organization and mine.
That what that the English. That's what makes you, sorry to interrupt, but that's what kind of makes you more approachable
Exactly.
and
And
more
they trust
comfortable.
me. Yeah, they
Mhm.
trust me. So they know they can use that phone number in an emergency only.
Mhm.
But they know that when they need me, I'm there. And if I don't have an answer, I won't stop until I find it.
Exactly.
And we will find the resources. If we can do those, help with anything that we have, we will not stop until we find the resources
Yeah.
that help that person. So to see some of them and be able to finally hug them and say, "Hey, you're
Yeah.
okay," and "Hey, like what happened?" and
Mhm.
um, it was uplifting, and it was, I think, um, sometimes you hold a heavy heart because you, meaning in a good way though, meaning that you help some of these families and then you don't know what happened.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, like what happened?
Yeah.
Like,
Like that, like if you're reading a book and you get to the end of the book and then you're
yeah,
like,
you're like,
"Wait, what
wait, what
happens
happens
next?"
next?
Yeah.
So I had many encounters during this summit that I will talk to them, and they'll be like, Janet, you help me with this, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So now how are you doing, and what's going
Mhm.
on, and it's okay to have that feedback and have that closure
Yeah.
of like, okay, this was good and this happened, and so my heart was refueling every summit.
Mhm. That's pretty awesome. Something that kind of reminded me as you were saying that was what was it? What was it? Oh my goodness. Oh, so I always joke around that you're a local celebrity here in San Antonio, but what blew my mind, because I have never seen it happen before until this last summit in Maryland. People were asking you for your autograph.
I know. I feel so weird.
That was a whole new level of celebrity
It
status.
was I felt so weird, but I I love every single one of those women. It was a new experience for me.
Yeah.
Because I think we told them you can take whatever. Puerto Ricans and Hispanics, we like to take everything. We go to a party and we like to take everything that's on the table.
Yep.
So it's like you go to a wedding and you
You
fight
take the centerpiece.
who wants to take the centerpiece.
Exactly.
So it was the last summit, and I told everybody, hey, you can take whatever you have is on the table, because we really didn't want to carry that
Yeah.
bag. But I wanted them to have a momentum, like even though we
Memento.
gave them a lot,
A memento.
a
Memento.
yeah, a memento.
Momentum is like.
Oh, okay. So a memento. We wanted everybody to have a memento. I still do need an English, see? So we wanted everybody to have a memento, even though we gave them a lot of stuff
Yeah.
for free. But I told them, I said, hey, you can take the centerpieces or the little quotes. And so they were like, oh, yeah, but sign this. We need for you to sign it since it's the last one. And I think they did it as a historic, maybe. It's the first summit, and they wanted to keep it as a keepsake.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it was kind of cute. It was really kind of cute. I was not expecting it, but it was
Neither
really
was
kind
I.
of cute. And I wish I would have done the same, but to keep one and make everybody sign it.
It wouldn't have fit.
I know, but now I'm thinking back, like I could have something for all of them to sign. But anyways.
But yeah, I just had to mention that because that was mind blowing. That was a whole new level of your status as a celebrity.
And let's make this correct. I am not a celebrity.
Yes,
but
you are. You are a celebrity. Don't listen to her. Everybody who's anybody knows who she is. Next question for you. Is there something you wish you could have added to the summit? Now that you have thought about what could have been, is there something that you're just now thinking that you wish you could have added?
Yeah. I wish I could have done so much.
I know you think of all the good stuff after it's over.
First of all, we were in crunch time. I mean, this was like this whole process. It was
Was
rough.
it like a year?
It was a year process, but we needed to complete everything by September 30th.
Yeah.
So we literally had 6 months to do 6 summits and do all logistics, and I mean, it was rush. I don't even know how we finished it. And how successful it was. Thanks to you, Eileen and Claudia,
You're welcome.
and all the volunteers. But I don't know if I would have changed anything. I think we grew during the process, and whatever was not working on the first one, we fix it for the next one. And I think by the end, we have built one of the greatest program I have ever done.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Yeah, I think your last summit was the best template as to what to do in the future.
Yeah. It was. We literally took and grew from day one.
Mhm.
And from every summit, we added something new, and we did stuff different.
Yeah.
By the time we got to the last one, I remember telling you, all the volunteers, I want this perfect.
Mhm.
I want this summit to be perfect because this is going to be the one that is going to build us to the next
Yeah.
ones. So yeah, I don't know if I would have changed anything.
Mhm.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of after you saying that, it kind of makes sense. You wouldn't necessarily need to change anything because you were essentially changing it while it was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Next question for you. Did you learn something new while hosting this tour?
That I can talk a lot. I know that.
That is so true. We had to hold up minute warning
Oh
signs for
my
her
God.
all the time.
Yeah.
And then even with that, you still wouldn't listen.
Yeah. They will hold signs in the back. 2 minutes. And I'm like, what? Like, but I'm not done with my story. Um, oh my God. You know what I learned about myself? That I could be funny.
Oh,
There
yeah.
were so many stories that was funny. like like
Yeah.
life experiences that were funny and people were laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was different.
Yeah. People laugh at other people's struggle
Struggle
moments.
moments.
Yes.
Yeah. They laugh at my English struggles.
But
Yeah.
it's because they can also relate to
Relate.
it.
They relate.
They're laughing with
Yeah.
you, not at
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it.
You
I
just learned
mean,
that you're a comedian
I'm a
now.
comedian. No, I learned I think I learned how to be more patient,
Okay.
and I learned how to lose control,
Okay.
let go of stuff.
Yeah.
Like with my organization, I'm a very structured, detailed, um,
Perfectionist.
perfectionist. That's the word.
Yes.
And I'm like the mama bear of the organization, and I don't like to let go.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's your
I
baby.
don't
You
like,
found it. You're the
yeah.
president. That
But
makes sense.
it's hard for me to delegate.
Loosen the
Loose,
reins.
yeah, to delegate. So during this whole process, I learned how to delegate other people to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a growing moment for me. Like you took care of logistics,
Mm-hmm.
Claudia took care of helping with logistics and planning and
Yeah.
grant paperwork and literally guiding the summit
Yeah.
during the day, no? And the volunteers, I mean, Vilmari covering from far away, helping the logistics with hotels, and I letting Francis build stuff for us,
Mm-hmm.
for the summit. Um, it was it was a very big moment for me to delegate and to let loose control. Um, and I think I learned a lot from that
Mm-hmm.
because I had more time to concentrate on other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. My I'm gonna say it's my final question, but who knows? I'll come up with another question
Okay.
maybe while you're talking. But the final question I have written for you is, what are your plans for the future of Esposas Militares?
Wow. So I just finished filling out the last
I
report, final
Woo.
report. Good Lord, I gave birth to that report. Um, I wish I had this recording to put it in that final report. I really need to show the Facebook people this recording.
Well, this episode will be up
Yes.
tomorrow,
Oh,
so
great. Because I'm going to be at the Facebook headquarters and I'll be like, you
yes.
need to listen to this because this is
Yes.
exactly what you need to listen,
Yes.
right?
By the time this episode is out, your report will essentially be due.
All right, good. So, what was the question again?
What are your plans for the future
For the
of it?
future. As the summit or as an organization?
Let's do both.
Both. Okay. So, as the summit, my goal and my commitment is to do 6 more cities every year. So, again, we need sponsorships. We need looking for
Let us
We're
know.
looking for brands, for people that have money to invest on us. We need to get to 6 more cities. Um, so that's my goal, to go to 6 more cities every year. Um, we're are close to bases, and we can. And I don't want to reach. I don't want to have 50 spouses in there. I want to
Mhm.
have more than 100.
Mhm.
I don't want to limit their
The
the
attendance.
attendance or the capacity. I want them to be able to come.
Yes.
And now they know what it is, and now they can join us and have fun. And of course, we change it up a little bit,
Mhm.
but that's my goal. 6 months. I mean, 6 more cities. Um, and also continue the English classes. We have 700. We want to reach 2,000, 3,000 military spouses that need this. And I think it's a free, is the more that people know, the more that we're going to reach, right? But we want people that are committed
Yeah.
as we are. So if you register for that class, I want you to finish that
Mhm.
class. And we have volunteers, Amadelis and Kayla, that are doing an excellent job pushing these women to, like, you committed to
Yeah.
this, you need to finish this homework, or you need to,
Mhm.
um, so, and we have some stats for that too. Like, I don't even know how many, like, homework we have corrected for those English classes. Thousands and thousands of it. Um, as an organization, I want, I want, I don't want to be a big nonprofit, because then you will lose yourself,
Mhm.
right? And we have been in this business for 11 years doing this. Literally one of the first nonprofits probably out there for military. Um, and we continue to be small. And I don't mind to be small, because we don't lose our mission. Our mission has continued to be the
Mhm.
same. And we probably don't have much money, but our value is, it's out of this world,
Mhm.
because the connection that we have with military families and veterans, and the commitment that we have. So what I want to see in future years for our organization is, for, first of all, for um, for military families with language barriers and immigration issues to be noticed, to be held,
Mhm.
to advocate more for them, um, and at the same time being able to probably to help more financially if it's needed.
Mhm.
Um, that's about it. I don't want to change what we're doing right now. Um, yes, we have to grow, right? Because everybody says you have to grow,
Yeah.
Janet. And a lot of people said, Janet, but you're so quiet, you're staying in the back. And I said, and it has worked for us.
Yeah.
I have seen so
That's how
many.
you get the most,
Yes.
I guess, responses and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It has worked for us.
Yeah.
So what I see, it doesn't mean we don't see what's going on.
Mhm.
We're in the back looking,
Yeah.
but we're acting like we're
Exactly.
not talking.
Mhm.
Um, you can do as many as surveys that you want. You can do as many, um, I don't know, marketing as you want. But if you're not reaching,
If you're not engaging. Yeah.
engaging on those military spouses and families that need, then what is your purpose?
Mhm.
What really is your mission?
Yeah.
So we don't have the kind of money that other organizations have, but I have my military families and spouses that are right there,
Mhm.
and they know we are right here
Yeah.
when they need us.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a good answer.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
I guess.
Yeah, but that's all the questions I had for you on this little catch-up interview,
Yeah,
closing
thank you,
interview.
Eileen.
Yeah, it's been awesome to go on this ride with you
Thank you,
from the
Eileen,
very
for
beginning.
everything. Seriously, I
You're
don't know
welcome.
how many thank yous I'm gonna give you, but it I could not do this without
Yeah.
you. It's not possible to do
Mhm.
this without you. And I know you take your time, And you have always helped me with the organization
Yeah.
since you were little.
Mhm.
So you have seen this grow too. And
Exactly.
I couldn't do this with nobody else but you. I won't change it for a
Thanks.
world.
Thanks.
So
Thanks.
you're
Thanks.
stuck with me forever.
I am. Yeah, so it was fun to go on the ride and kind of see everything unfold and be there for essentially history
Mhm.
being made.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool and a really eye-opening experience because my experience in the military community is just being like a military child. So learning about the spouse life from you and all those other spouses, like that's a whole nother area
Mhm.
that I don't even know about.
Yeah. Even though you live with your mom as a military
Exactly.
spouse for 24 years. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you for letting me go on that ride with you, and thank you for doing this exit interview, so to say.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me
And
again.
thanks for joining me. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of this special episode. Like I said, not adulting, but we're catching up and talking about a fun project that was happening these past 6 months and that I always talked about in every episode that
Can
I
I say
recorded.
something really
Go for
quick?
it.
I really need to say thank you to our Facebook.
Go for
To
it.
Facebook and to our Facebook mentors and our Facebook friends and all of the Facebook employees that
Spent a
literally
lot of time on it.
spent a lot of time in
Yeah.
this project and that were my cheerleaders and our
Mhm.
cheerleaders behind, you know, doors. And um, we had excellent Facebook employees and committed for us to succeed in
Yeah.
this project. And that says a lot of a company.
Mhm.
These
For
employees, I
sure.
mean, oh my God, I will be forever grateful of each one of them. And there are
Yeah.
too many for me to mention because I don't want to forget anybody.
But if you're listening, you know who
But
you
if
are.
you're listening, you know who you are. I love you forever. Thank you for believing in Esposas Militares Hispanas and for trusting us
Yeah.
and for giving us the opportunity to do this.
Mhm.
And we started Esposas Militares in a group in Facebook. And if
Yeah.
it wasn't for Facebook, we would not be here.
You wouldn't have ever gone on your first tour.
Never. Never.
You're a successful touring celebrity.
Thanks, Facebook.
But that brings us to the end of our this episode. I want to thank my mother for joining me again, and
Thank you.
also if you want to see more of Esposas Militares, or if you want to read more about it, or if you want to visit the website, or if you want to check out Operation Barrier Breaker, you can definitely go to the website or to their Facebook. It's going to be linked in the description of this podcast, so you can definitely go check it out. And then yeah, like I said, that brings us to the end of the episode. And you can listen wherever you want to listen. You can watch wherever you want to watch. And I will see you on the next one, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.